How's it going, everybody? MrHulthen here. Hope you guys are doing well today. Today we're gonna go through a couple of new things here. I'm sorry for my mic maybe like exploding your speakers there. I just gotta change that real quick. We're gonna go through a bunch of news today. Actually, some Subnautica stuff. And I was thinking we're going to do this live because I feel like I want to have a dialogue with you guys while we do this, so we do this properly. And especially after yesterday's situation when I uploaded a video that I then removed, I kind of want to talk about that too. But I mostly want to make this about a couple of things that happened today that I'm actually pretty excited for. These are like 4 things that I kind of want to go over in this stream. So we have Subnautica, we have Zelda news, we have possibly God of War news, and then we have some Cyberpunk stuff to go over as well. So in just a moment, I just gotta wait for you guys to get in here. There we go. Hey Fusia, how you doing? Lego, what's up, man? Also, I'm streaming this on Twitch at the same time, so if you feel more comfortable watching from Twitch, hop on over. Hop skippity boop. Hop on over. Let's see here. Is it running? I think I should have the chat up and running on the screen as well. Yeah, they're updating on Cyberpunk. We're gonna check out the stream here because they actually had a stream, like a red stream. So we're gonna take a look at that as well. Because I haven't seen it yet. I'm very interested in seeing what they are bringing to the game. I'm not expecting much, honestly, at this point, because like they're working on the next game. So, you know, I don't want to expect too much from the update itself because I think, you know, Phantom Liberty is essentially what they said was going to be like the final big one. But anyway, let's pop in right over to the Subnautica thing that I kind of want to get into. There we go. No, that's not me. There we go. No, that's not right either. Where am I? There it is. There we go. JD, welcome. You've been there since 10k subs. Thank you for the support, man. I appreciate it. We're growing slowly but surely. There are some rumors about Witcher 3 DLC as well. Really? I haven't looked into that yet. I have to. Emilia Andre, how you doing? Welcome. Okay, so here we go. This was probably the best article so far I've found surrounding the entire Subnautica 2 leak. So in case you're not really in the know, I probably don't need to repeat myself of what's going on with Subnautica 2. If you've seen my video on it, it has like over 100k views at this point, so I'm guessing most of you have seen it. Essentially, there's just a big situation going on with Subnautica 2, and I am a huge fan of Subnautica, so I wanted to cover this, and I found it very interesting. That's why I did the first video. And then I covered it yesterday again, and I made a video upon on an apparent leak. The thing is, in the video, I gotta admit, I'm sorry guys, that was kind of shitty because it sounded like when I watched the video back to back, it sounded like I was taking Crafton's side on the entire thing, which I did not intend to do. And the thing is, after thinking about it a lot, actually, I think this is probably the most accurate, article or summation of the entire situation I feel when I really think about it. Subnautica 2 leak is authentic, says publishers who benefit the most from that leak. Hull breach detected. And I gotta admit, like, that is the kind of the truth at this point. Again, like, it's hard to say exactly what the full story is because we don't have the full story of what's going on between Charlie, Max, and Ted. That is the previous leads over at Unknown Worlds and Crafton, and we're gonna have to wait until we find out more after Charlie's lawsuit gets open to the public. But he said that he wants everybody to know the truth behind everything that's going on here. So I'm kind of ready to side with the original devs here. But this article kind of sums up it pretty well. So I'm going to read it for you guys if you haven't checked it out. A battle between 3 former Subnautica 2 developers and their publishers at Crafton intensified over the weekend after an internal document appeared online showing how the scope of the survival game has reduced during development. The source of this document remains unknown. In fact, quite a lot of facts about the document remain unknown. Nevertheless, Krafton has since leapt at the chance to confirm its authenticity. So when you really think about it, like they were very quick to say, yeah, that's a real leak. That's a real leak, you guys. So, and the thing is, the leak speaks for Krafton. Like, it's obviously painting Krafton, the publisher that is, in a very, positive light. So right from the get-go, it kind of gets very shady, right? And that's kind of why I'm kicking myself for it, because I was like, oh, yeah, okay, it seems, yeah, sure, yeah, I can see this being a thing. It could be, but I think you should be hesitant about this stuff right now, because it's obvious that Krafton is very much trying their best to control the entire situation and control the narrative that is going on here. And I'm already seeing people like converting and being like, yeah, okay. I'm starting to see like, and I can understand why you would, feel that way, that, yeah, Krafton probably has a point with this. But the thing is, at this point, like, everything is so incomplete. I'm going to continue with this. For those new to the drama, Subnautica 2 is one of the most wish-listed games on Steam. A couple of weeks ago, 3 senior management folks at Studio Unknown Worlds were kicked out and replaced by the head of another Krafton-owned studio. The 3 ousted developers were co-founders Charlie Cleveland and Max McGuire alongside CEO Ted Gill. No explanation was given, but Cleveland later revealed he disagreed with the publisher over whether the game was ready to be released or not in early access. He said Subnautica 2 was ready for early access. Krafton did not agree. Then a report by Bloomberg revealed that the Leviathan in the room, a $250 million payout bonus that Unknown Worlds employees would receive if a released game sold sufficient copies by the end of 2025. Following the leadership coup, that actually is a good way of describing it, Krafton announced that they would delay the game until 2026, making this earnout impossible. So you guys already see the problem inherent with the entire situation, right? The fired managers then filed a lawsuit against Krafton, and Krafton in return released a statement accusing those managers of being negligent. Apparently, Charlie is working on a Christmas movie, and they were like, yeah, he focused on that shit. He's not focusing on the game. So they wanted to get rid of him. That's kind of what it sounds like. The whole thing is very messy, very indeed. Is that a word? Can you say that? This weekend it got messier. Yes. On Friday, 2 slides from a presentation of unknown length were posted to Reddit by an unknown party. The slides seem to show how the scope of the game's features were reduced over a 2-year period. It claims that the game was deemed to lack the level of polish required for release. And here we can see the full screenshots here, apparently from like a statement that has been going around from seemingly Krafton. They seem to be okay with people talking about the leak, and that is the case. I think they want people to talk about this whole thing because it obviously speaks in their favor right now, but you can also see that it's incomplete, right? We have 2 pages of what seems to be like a longer thing. Like here we have page 7 up to the right? And here we see page 2. So we have like 2 pages of like a, there we have like a third page down here to the bottom right. So like this is not even like the complete document of the leak itself. But yeah, obviously you can see stuff like here. Yeah, there was stuff cut out. There was, regions cut out, creatures, leviathans. Right over here we can see a bunch of stuff. The minus, that is the red text, that is all the stuff that has been cut out of the of the game ever since, or not cut out, but that they haven't been able to do or complete from 2023 to 2024 and 2025. So this is just the stuff that they haven't been able to reach, or it says removed, so maybe they had to cut it out. But that is essentially the narrative right now, and that seems to be a growing narrative, that, it's looking like Krafton was on the right side of things. But the thing is, I think it's very important to keep in mind that we don't know the full picture. We don't know what their internal discussions were. We don't know if Charlie and the others were like, very transparent and apparent with the Krafton folks that, maybe things will change and we have to reduce scope. And we don't know if Krafton was like, yeah, sure, that's That's fine, if as long as you can get it out in early access, maybe that's the thing that happens. We don't know at this point. So at this point, I feel like we need to give Charlie and the team like the benefit of the doubt, and which is why I took down the video, because I felt like, okay, I'm being unfair right now because I'm not thinking of this clearly, right? Again, this is very much in their favor. What's the Cyberpunk latest? We'll get to that. Boyo just finished your video and sub. This is such a weird situation. Hard to judge either side when there's such emotional arguments from both sides. Did you hear about them extending a 25 mil bonus? We're gonna get to that actually. Can you tell me which is your favorite game? Mass Effect. I'm a professional art worker. Nice. Cool. Welcome, Normandy. Let's see here. Okay, we gotta continue with this article. Compared to the originally planned EA launch specifications, says one line, the current target content volume has been reduced or adjusted across various elements such as biomes, creatures, equipment, progression, and features. Due to a gap between the current state and the content volume assumed during the initial launch planning, it is necessary to reassess the release timeline and roadmap. Here, the article continues, it's not unusual for games to have features stripped away during development, but this is the exact point on which Krafton and the Fire developers disagree. Krafton confirmed the authenticity of this presentation in a statement to RPS and many other press outlets. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, essentially, they just say that. Yeah, it's real. For all Krafton's talk about transparency, he says here, there is an astounding amount of information we do not know about this document. The document is incomplete, as I mentioned. There's no date or timestamp to show when it was written. There is no attribution to show who originally authored it. It does not show who the intended recipient of the document is. I.e., was this written to be sent to Unknown Worlds, or was it written to be shared between parties within Krafton? So, was this even something that they shared with Unknown Worlds? Like, we don't know the internal, the stuff that went on, because maybe this was something that Unknown Worlds wasn't really aware that they had this back and forth at Krafton. Who knows? The identity of the person or persons who posted the document is not known. It came from Reddit account CompleteBread4924, who has not made any other posts or comments. I checked that out as well. That's true. This is someone who just posted this on Reddit. That's it. So I'm guessing, like, my first guess here, and again, this is just speculation. Don't take this with a grain of salt. My feeling at this is either somebody at the leadership position at Krafton, or at least some form of employee higher up that were like, yeah, let's push the situation, let's control the narrative, let's push this out, let's color this entire situation as best we can in our light. That is, like, when you really look at everything that has happened, and I know it might sound like a little bit like a conspiracy theory, but the thing is, it kind of makes sense when you think about what's happened so far. I mean, they fired the three folks right around the corner when the game is supposed to go to early access. They are not getting their payout bonus. And right at the same time, we get a leak as soon as, like, the narrative was that people were in support of Charlie and Max and Ted, and suddenly they come out with this leak, and suddenly, like, the narrative shifts, and you can see it in real time, like, how it shifts, because I was following this a little bit, at least, before I made my video. Again, like I mentioned before, like, I didn't really think it through when I made the video, but it's so easy getting, I guess, manipulated at this time and age, and I'm not immune to it either, like, especially with misinformation and stuff like that. And that's also kind of why I don't want to, I didn't want to keep the video up, because I felt that, a part of me felt like, oh no, I'm just contributing to what could be misinformation, because again, at this point, we don't know. It's just speculation. What did I miss? This is just the first part. We're gonna get to the other stuff. The article continues. What we can say is that Krafton stands to benefit from its appearance in as much as it supports their side of the narrative about Subnautica 2's delay. Agreed. They have confirmed the slides are authentic, and their statement to the press itself a practice that is rare for companies when it comes to leaks. I can't really remember the last time that happened, where a company was like, yeah, that leak is real. I normally have tried to refrain from talking about leaks, because I did it one time regarding Capcom. I think it was Dragon's Dogma 2, and I was just talking about a leak. I did not show anything. I literally was just talking about the leak, and the video got copyright struck. So I got a warning on my channel because Capcom decided to, take my video down because I was just simply talking about a leak. But here they're very transparent about they want people to talk about this leak. They want to get this out there. And while it might be counterproductive for me to talk about it here, I still want to put out my spin on this, like my idea of this. Just, counter it after having thought about it, that we should probably, reserve judgment for saying that, okay, yeah, Crafton is definitely in the right here, because I think it's possible that they're still not, the whole situation, the whole circumstance, it just stinks, okay? Anyway, given this unusual development and the speculation it might raise, we have asked Crafton via their PR several questions about the origin of the document. We have asked Crafton to confirm or deny that they are the source of this leak. We also asked what date the document was authored, among other questions. They have so far answered by resending us the press release as quoted above. Okay, so they didn't actually send anything new to them, to Rock, Paper, Shotgun here. Interesting. We'll let you know if they get back to us with anything more solid. That's a good thing they actually did, that they asked them, can you guys provide actual proof here or something else? The games media has broadly been attempting to keep up with the fast pace of this implosive fracas and to understand the facts about the story. Crafton hasn't been particularly helpful. Noticeable here, yeah. The publishers say that under the circumstances, transparent communication is necessary. However, they have chosen only to show a tiny fragment of the internal discussion around the game, inviting onlookers and the media to make more judgments and speculation about what happened. Crafton, jumping on this, suggests that they believe the slides will help them further their version of events. True. As for the ousted developers, they have retreated firmly into lawyer mode and are no doubt weighing up the likelihood of a victory against the corporate giant. Suing a multi-billion-dollar company in a painful, public, and possibly protracted way was certainly not on my bucket list, said Cleveland last week, but this needs to be made right. Yeah, that's what he stated. Yeah, this guy nails it, actually, when you really think about it. Brendan Caldwell, good job on the reporting here, because I wish... I thought about that before making my video, honestly, because I think he kind of has the right of it. He's skeptical about the whole situation surrounding Crafton's narrative, and I think you should be at this point. The last leak I heard was the leak I took in the restroom. Bread loaf with the zingers. How you doing, TR? Next, okay, so there was this part. Right, we're not done with Subnautica 2. Just yet. Crafton extends Subnautica 2 bonus period is sued by founders. Now, yeah, this is a continuation from Jason Schreier, but essentially, apparently, it would seem that about 40 employees at Unknown Worlds were eligible to share a $25 million bonus contingent upon the studio hitting certain revenue targets by the end of 2025 with a possible short-term extension. So yeah, around 40 employees at Unknown Worlds that were not, Charlie, Ted, and Max, were supposed to share a $25 million bonus. And apparently they have extended it to 2026. So that's good, if they can get the early access out to next year. But then again, can we trust that? But, we'll have to see. But about 40 employees at Unknown Worlds were eligible to share a $25 million bonus contingent upon the studio hitting certain revenue targets by the end of 2025. And let's see here. Now that schedule has been extended an additional year, according to people familiar with the events at the studio and documentation seen by Bloomberg. Crafton also said it would advance a portion of the studio's projected 2026 profit-sharing bonus pool, which is independent from the bonus, to all Unknown Worlds employees this year. Well, that's a good thing, I guess. At least most of the developers are possibly getting a bonus. It doesn't say that they have confirmed that they're gonna get the $25 million bonus, because who knows? Crafton could equally just postpone the release of the early access next year again. I doubt they will, but you never know. And then you ask yourself, okay, but will they even get the $25 million bonus? Really? But there's a big difference here, right? Because between $25 million and $250 million, which was the amount that Max, Charlie, and Ted were supposed to split if they could, and they were going to split it as well, apparently, with the team, according to Charlie, if they could get the early access out. But now it's like those guys are gone. They didn't get their bonus of $250 million, but now they can give like a $25 million bonus to 40 employees. It's like, you guys can see already, like it's, oh my, I don't know, man. Again, it stinks. Like it stinks a lot. Like I'm not sure what to think here. Like at one point it's like, yeah, sure, it's good, but still, can we trust them to actually pay that out next year? Who knows at this point? Anyway, let's go on to the next part. Shigeru Miyamoto, the godfather of Nintendo, has announced that we're getting these two as Zelda and Link. I'm very curious. Are you guys seeing this? Slam, how you doing? Welcome, man. Good to see you too. So this is the new Zelda and Link, or well, I would say Zelda and Link, for the upcoming movie. This is what Miyamoto said. This is Miyamoto. I'm pleased to announce that for the live-action film of The Legend of Zelda, Zelda will be played by Bo Bragason-san and Link by Benjamin Evan Ainsworth-san. I am very much looking forward to seeing both of them on the big screen. The film is scheduled to be released in theaters on May 7th, 2027. Thank you for your patience. I mean, yeah, I could see it. Sure. I just hope that Link is silent for most of the movie. Hope you're doing good. Shroom of Doom, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you. Hope you're doing good as well. But yeah, I can see her as Zelda for sure, and this boy being Link. But again, like he's got to be completely silent. Link don't even talk. How is the actor supposed to act? Well, I think the best case scenario would be like yeah, the usual. I hope he does that, because otherwise it's gonna break my bubble. It's gonna break my bubble. It's gotta be that, right? Shut it, Link. None want to hear Link speak. True. Yeah, I know that there is media out there where Link talks, like the animated old movie or whatever it was, but it's like there's a reason why nobody cares about that. Like Link, to most people, to most gamers, to most fans, is a silent, blonde, Peter Pan-ish hero. Like he you kind of put yourself in Link's shoes when you play as him. You kind of role play as Link, I guess, in a way. So I really hope he's just completely silent, and the only things, like the only noises he makes are like fighting noises. Pretty good casting, though. I can see it. Yeah, I think this is pretty good. Like, they're conventionally attractive teens, I would say. I'm not sure exactly how old they were. I think I checked him out earlier. I think he's like, what is he? Let me think. 19? Is he? No, wait. What year was it? He's born after the 2000s. So it's like, it's so weird seeing these like super young actors about to star in such a big project. But yeah, I think they look okay. They look good. I would not have a problem with them appearing on screen. I haven't seen them in anything, so I can't say, like, I can't speak about their acting chops. I want to hear incoherent grunting. Yes. Yeah. He looks like Spider-Man. He kind of does look like Tom Holland. And Shroom of Doom says here on Twitch, thank God it's not Tom Holland. But he has the jawline, right? He has that super sharp, broad jaw. So I guess, I just noticed the topic of God of War in the title. I'm very excited, but a bit too sleepy. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, we can jump over to the God of War thing. Now, this is not, of course, it's a little clickbaity, of course, but here we got a lot of news the other day about a new God of War game being teased, or maybe not God of War, but Sony's Santa Monica game. Sony Santa Monica's next game is reportedly not a new IP, but it might feel like one. What's Cory Barlog up to? And it's like, come on, man, it's so obvious. If you played God of War Ragnarok, you would know that there are sections where you play as Atreus, aka Loki. Sorry about the spoiler there, but you play as him, right? And Cory Barlog is making a new game that is not a new IP, but it might feel like one. And Schreier as well, like talked about this before. I'll put it this way: it's not a new IP, but it might feel like one. Maybe that's why people are confused. Please don't ask me more questions about this, even if I wind up reporting more information at any point in the future. It'll be an article, not on a forum, and that the sci-fi stuff is nonsense. So it's not a sci-fi game. And today, Sony Santa Monica, or I think, wait, no, yesterday they posted this this tweet: Loki will go, Atreus remains. So I think it is pretty obvious that they are gonna make a, now again, you might, you could say that this is just it's definitely speculation, but it's speculation that I'm 90% sure is gonna be a God of War game featuring Atreus. Because why would they post this after the whole yabber with Jason Schreier talking about it, about Cory Barlog is attached to the project? It's not a new IP, but it might feel different. And then we have Sony Santa Monica spoiling the literal ending of God of War Ragnarok. So it's like, Loki will go, Atreus remains, because Loki leaves, he goes to find the other giants. It's like, it's most obvious. We can already tell at this point. It's so obvious. It is so obvious. If you are surprised by this, I will be disappointed in you. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think this is way too, like, the plot just lines up. The puzzle pieces, they're just sinking. Of course they're gonna do this. Of course. It's the only thing that works at this point. God of War as a spin-off won't sell as well. His kid was fine, but not interesting enough. Without Kratos, most people will skip it. Nah, I don't think so. I think people will play it because they're probably going to make Atreus an actual adult. I do think that this could sell a lot, but they have to make sure that the gameplay and the feel is there. Because the thing is, I think a lot of people just trust Santa Monica Studios because of God of War and because of God of War Ragnarok. Now, yes, you could say that, yeah, Ragnarok, it split the fan base, essentially. So you might have loved it, you might have hated it. I loved it for the most part, but there were parts where I felt like I wish things were a little bit different than this. I guess I was expecting something else, something more out of it, but otherwise I was pretty happy with it. So I think they are going to have enough players that are going to want to try it out. And they're probably saying that also. They're probably going to name it God of War. So it's probably still going to be God of War, but it's going to be like God of War Loki, like something like that. And people are just going to buy it on name recognition alone. I just think that is the case. But yeah, for sure, you might have a point. There are definitely going to be people who are like, no, this is not Kratos. I don't want to play as Atreus. Fuck this shit. But, if they make him huge, if they make him muscular enough, if they give him cool abilities, being able to transform into an actual giant and crazy shit like that, I think I would personally be definitely on board with that. I would love to see Loki go giant mode for once, because we haven't seen him do that. That would be amazing. I remember how many people were hating a lot on an only Atreus game. Thoughts on that? Yeah, I think people are going to play it. But again, it's like they have to nail his character and make him feel almost synonymous in a way with Kratos. Like, don't make him feel too dissimilar from what makes God of War great. So, go all in on the executions and the special finishers and the crunchy action and everything that makes the old games and the new games great and just go as hard as possible. And I think, if they can just, try to not replicate God of War, but try to do something even better, then, I think people are going to be on board. But it's going to be a lot of work. That's going to be hard work. I would like to see Loki go dragon mode. Yeah, there's a lot of potential in Loki as a protagonist because he is a shapeshifter, right? He can transform into essentially anything. Dragon, giant, bear. We've already seen him as a bear. Fucking trolls. Like, he can do anything, I think. So, yeah. Yeah, they definitely need to bring Kratos back for sure. I think it's pretty obvious they're going to want to bring Kratos back because you do still want him in the franchise. My personal theory is that Loki and Atreus, or, well, Loki/Atreus, he's going to run into some trouble at the end of the game. Now, I'm just speculating here, but I think he's gonna run into some trouble. They're probably gonna build it as like a trilogy or something, and Kratos is gonna be, we're gonna go to the next game and then we're gonna play as Kratos again, and possibly, who knows, maybe save Atreus, something like that, I'm guessing, to bring him back, because there's to be a reason to bring Kratos back, right? And so the only reason I can think bringing Kratos back would be either that Loki finishes his mission and comes back to his dad, or his dad gets a message somehow and has to go out and save his boy, right? That'd be awesome. That'd be cool. But that's just a theory. That's just the game theory. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about Cyberpunk. Actually, we're going to watch the live stream. So, yeah, for anybody who's been waiting for the Cyberpunk stuff, let's go. Let's check it out. Let's see what they have to say about this new patch.
Free wheels. Let me just chill a sec.
Good morning, V. Thank you for choosing the Delamain service.
Apologies for the weird screen. It doesn't seem to be working as I want it to. I'm using what's it called? Brave? It has done this before. But what did it say here? I'm just gonna back away a little bit. Autodrive and Delamain taxi service. Okay.
Good morning, V. Thank you for choosing the Delamain service.
Score and lock. Welcome, man. Expanded photo mode options. Well, that's cool. I feel your mic volume on Twitch is a bit low. Can you increase it a bit? I don't think I can, because if I increase it more, I think it's going to go over the red meter. So I wish I could, but I can't, because then the sound is going to get all, boomy and shit. More to discover? Okay, we're just gonna watch this.
Hello, welcome back in Night City.
Thank you.
I know you guys were waiting for this stream to happen, so welcome once again. I'm Amelia Korzycka, I'm a Senior Community Manager here at CD Projekt Red, and yes, we will talk about 2.3 today. My guests are, as always, my lovely Alicja Kozera.
Hi guys, thank you for having me, as always. It's a pleasure to be here.
And we also have super cool guest Paweł Sasko is joining us
There
again.
he is.
The one and only.
Paweł.
Hello, my dears. Great to see you again. I haven't been here for some time, so I'm super excited. We're gonna talk about some new things we cooked for you.
And we have a new face joining us today. So please welcome from Virtuous Game, Adrian João,
guys.
no.
Thank you for having me here. I'm super thrilled to be here. with you.
Virtuos.
Cool.
Yeah. So you guys already saw our mini trailer of the update 2.3. It teased some of the changes, some of the additions that we're giving. I already jumped the gun and announced the date before, but it needed some more time to cook. So it is coming tomorrow to PC, PlayStation 5, and Xbox.
Yeah, and Switch 2 will also join the family with 2.3 update, but we need a few more hours, few more times, few more days. We'll see. But it's coming, so stay tuned. On our social media, we'll let you know what's happening.
And it's also coming to one new platform that we've never been at before, Mac.
So yeah, it's
Interesting.
the family's growing, obviously. But you know, obviously we have the Virtuos team with us today. So if you could maybe remind our viewers, our players, what you guys do.
Sure. So Virtuos is a game development company, and our main thing is we are helping and supporting other studios to create their game, and we help them with that. And we already did some partnership with Ubisoft, EA Games, Arcane, and many more other studios. And we are super happy to work with you
Bethesda.
right now on Cyberpunk. And yeah, that's it.
And it's a pleasure really to work with Virtuos. We've been collaborating for some time. This is like a great team, like really talented crew. They work together on us on 2.2, with us on 2.2, and now on 2.3.
Yeah, and shout out to the team, which is probably looking right now live with us.
Big Boyo, thank you for answering the questions for us and being engaged with everyone who's tuned in. I will head out now. Hope the rest of the stream goes well. Thank you, Big Boya. Take care and sleep tight. Thank you for being here.
Yes, guys. This stream, we are live with you.
Ubisoft,
so if you have any
by the way.
questions, drop them in the chat, and we will try to answer the ones that we can.
Yeah, we have the big team in the chat, so shout out to all the Reds from the community team and also our moderators, helping to gather the questions, have fun with you guys. So expect some posts, some cool comments here and there. And yeah, like Alisa mentioned, drop the questions in the chat. We also drop patch notes right after the stream, so you can read it after we're done in here.
Okay, so let's start off. We won't keep you here too long. Paweł, let's start with like the main thought between this update. What's the idea?
Yes, so the thing is that with Cyberpunk 2077, we believe that the game is already in a pretty good place. And what we wanted to do is really like give you things that would make you actually feel that it brings enough novelty to the game. It brings some fresh air, and it makes you want to replay the game. In the same time, we want to address some of the requests that the guys had. So throughout this meeting today, we'll be outlining some of those. And a lot of them will be focused around vehicles and traversing the world. I'm not going to tell you more because I don't want to spoil it. We have a lot more details to tell you. We believe that this update will actually make the game feel to play even better. And there's
The real Commander Carnage will get the next Cyberpunk game before the next Mass Effect. I don't have a problem with that, honestly. It's fine by me. Like, all I want is a good Mass Effect game. So I would rather, just sure, take your time, because I don't want to see another situation like with Veilguard, right? We want to see them pull this off. So doesn't matter to me if we get Cyberpunk is equally good for me, because Cyberpunk, CD Projekt Red pulled it off with Phantom Liberty, and so I have more faith right now for CDPR because of Phantom Liberty, especially. So, I mean, if Cyberpunk comes out before Mass Effect, that's completely fine by me. Absolutely. Almost like what's going on with Fable, then better to get it right than get it out the door. Yeah, at this point, I think I've settled on that idea that there are so goddamn many games to play, guys. There's so much to do. My backlog is fucking huge. There are so many games I haven't played. I don't have time to play it because I'm either making videos or I'm stuck playing another game. And as soon as I get done with that game, another fucking 3-4 games have been released. And so it's like, oh my God, we're living in the best age of gaming, I feel, at in one part, because there's so many games to play and there's so many various types of games to play, but at the same time it's like, oh, it's overwhelming. Because back in the day I could play like you know, Ocarina of Time back to back at least a couple of times before like an interesting new game came out, but now it's like I don't have time. I would love third person. Yeah, that would be great as well. I wanted to talk about this that Pavel just said, that they want to bring novelty to Cyberpunk 2077, to keep updating it a little bit every now and then, so you want to keep replaying it. I think that's really cool, honestly. I just hope that actually, you know, scratch I hope, because Virtual is actually helping them making this content, these updates. So it's not necessarily taking anything away from the development of their other games. So sure, just give it to me.
There's like a couple features that I'm really particularly excited about and cannot wait to.
What are your expectations for N7 Day this year? At this point, I am chilling. I'm chilling, man. I wanna see something of substance. I don't expect anything, but I want to see something of substance. I really want to see like in-game footage, maybe something cinematic or action. I think it's probably way too early for gameplay, but I do think like something to build the hype for it. But if it's many more years away, then, you know, at least something to tell me that they're getting somewhere. But insofar, I'm not expecting anything. How's it going, Vanilla Spooks? Welcome, Mr. Kitty. I will say, will we get a tweet and that's it? You mean for the N7 Day? Yeah, probably. Ekurisona can't stay for stream. What is Cyberpunk update? Real quick. Sorry, y'all have fun. Well, I'm watching this right now, so it's hard to say. We're gonna have to watch and see. But I think they have like a breakdown. Just look up the official Cyberpunk 2077 forums, and there will be like an update, because I think the update is already out or it's coming out soon, so there should be like a patch notes list.
Tell me more.
Nice. So let's start
Have a
with
good one.
something that everyone already knows, Crystal Code and Twin Tone. So maybe let's remind everyone how those work, and then we can talk a little bit more about
car
those.
coloring.
So the Twin Tone tech was introduced in 2.2 as a partnership from Rayfield with other brands, luxurious, sporty brands of cars. And basically with 2.3, we expanded this.
Yeah, tomorrow.
So right now, we can you can customize even more vehicles. You can customize more sports car, more partner brands. But you've got also a hacked version of this feature, which is available for lower-end vehicles, like the Mamai, the Galena, of course. So right now, you can customize more than 23, even more cars than before, which means you can customize almost all the cars of the game, basically, with a few exceptions.
Amazing.
Nice.
I've been waiting for a pink Mai for almost 5 years.
That's actually true. Like I remember couple times getting messages about like, hey, can we like, you know, do something to customize the Mai. So now
I mean, our next step is weaponized Mai, right? Hopefully.
No Pan Am Major L update.
when it comes to the lore part, because I like touching that just to make sure that like every component in our game is actually part of the world building. That's really important for us, because we believe that every really part of the game is telling a story. So in here, as Adrian introduced to you, like we believe that at this point, it doesn't make sense for the lower end cars to just have partnership with Rayfield. So that's why we introduced a hacked version of the Crystal Code. And you'll see it maybe in some of the footage that we are rolling out when we'll be watching on the preview. And of course, you know, hopefully you'll download the update and play with it. And you will see, you know, that we found ways how we can enable that feature for many more vehicles while in the same time staying lore accurate. And that's really, really important for us.
I gotta say, I like Pavel because he is one of the, I think he started as a content creator, right? He's really good at speaking. And then he is, he is in a creative role as well for Cyberpunk, the next game, Cyberpunk 2.0 or whatever you say. I just think that's really cool. Like he he segued from being like a community manager to being like much more involved in the actual game. I don't know what his actual position right now is, but I just find it cool. Like he could get his way into that section of making the game. I just think that's impressive to me.
And I think from a perspective of our intention, actually right now, every vehicle in the game that doesn't contain it, doesn't support it, is already not supposed to. So for instance, like the Nomad vehicles are a great example, right? So those vehicles are like highly tuned by nomads, therefore they're not supposed to be really having all this like high-tech, like smart paint jobs and so on, because it doesn't really fit, right? So what we try to do, we try to make sure that the whole like palette of cars, you know, whole buffet of cars that we deliver to you as a player, they all have differences, right? Some of them are weaponized, some have...
You can always just mod it, you know, that's also a thing, because if you want to mod the coloration of your Nomad cars, you could just, you know, use mods. But it kind of makes sense, honestly, that, you know, they're trying not to break lore, I guess. So,
Or some have rockets, some have Gatling guns, some have crystal coat.
How about those flying cars? Yeah, true.
All kinds of versions, and hopefully you can find something for you.
He'll probably listen.
So to sum up, we have like 32 vehicles that can use twin tone and crystal coat, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, and we will show you guys a little bit of gameplay, how it actually works.
You can buy it.
For my Alicia's favorite car.
Yes, finally.
Sure.
But what is amazing, you can see that it's actually a cracked.
Wait, could you do that
technology
before?
via the UI.
I didn't realize that.
Correct. Yes. It's actually like we try to like pay as much attention as we can to those small details. I know that our players love that stuff, so we really made sure that it feels a little cracked, a little glitchy, you know, at how the UI acts and so on. So you will see it.
Yeah, as always, I really appreciate those lore bits that you put into those features, that you actually think about it, how it would work in the world of Cyberpunk. So new cars is one thing, but also we've been adding some more paint jobs. And I know that you don't remember the exact numbers. I have the cheat sheet here, yeah? So we have 205 generic paint jobs and 168 unique paint jobs added to the traffic.
Yeah, I mean, Virtuous team has been really busy making sure that you can really make your vehicles customized and really feel, you know, that you can do pretty much whatever you feel like it. And there's more to it even, which we will speak about in a moment.
Yeah, the goal was to really let you guys scan whatever vehicle you find cool into the traffic and, you know, steal it in some way to steal the paint job, apply on your own vehicle and roll with it.
Which one is your favorite? Like paint job or?
I love this Sion actually, like the one that we are seeing right now, I believe. Yeah, exactly. Like those are amazing looking. To be honest, I really like driving those vehicles that are a bit odd. So, you know, the Demiurge, for instance, like I think our FF06 fans will know what I mean. So, you know, things like this. And of course, I think we should point this out, actually, the motorcycles.
Yeah, now motorcycles also are part of the batch. You can customize them just as you can do with cars, so that's pretty new.
Exactly, and all the motorcycles also got the updated UI. Now it's actually corresponding properly with, you know, the shape of a vehicle and so on. That makes this feature really feel complete for us.
You know, as much as, you know, I don't necessarily care too much about like vehicle colors and tint, I still think it's cool that they're actually updating the game with content like this, because at this point it's like yeah, but like it's fine if they don't. They could have just gone on and just kept working on the other games, but it's cool that they got Virtuos to do this. So I kind of appreciate it, as much as I'm probably not going to jump in it to Cyberpunk 2077 like immediately. I still think it's cool that they're adding some more stuff like this, but there's going to be more apparently.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's actually really cool.
Full set of
Hey Vadim, how you doing, man?
Full set of
Not
of colors. I'm actually jealous.
Well,
of
we're
I
gonna
would love
see.
to have this feature in real world. Like different car every day, but unfortunately,
Maybe in 2077.
maybe.
Real Commander, forgot 90% of the lore with cars are with the amount of modded core for Cyberpunk now. Like some Transformer tech, love that. True. Yeah, the free quality of life stuff is always nice. Other companies would charge $3.99 for this stuff. Yeah, that's also what I appreciate, that this is a free update. So it's like, yeah, I'm not paying for it. Good stuff. Add more content. Thank you. It's like, yeah, that's the least they could do at this point, right?
Maybe.
Okay, so we pretty much can make any vehicle to look like any vehicle, but we also have new vehicles that we're adding in this patch. Can you maybe tell us a bit more about those new cars?
Yeah, we've got 3 new cars
Oh.
and 1 new motorcycle. One of them being the Yaiba Sumimaru, which you might be aware of and you might know, which is coming from the comic book Kickdown.
Exactly. I wanted to point this out. Like you see it here on
This
the screen.
one is
so
actually
this
cool.
is a Kickdown comic book. Actually, like we do badass comic books, by the way. If you didn't read them, really try it. I love them. But this is the Kickdown, as Adrian said, and we actually included a little of a hint for you guys if you maybe paid attention. So we go to the last page of that comic book. There is actually a Yaiba Semimaru picture that we included here already some time ago, just to, to give you a little of a foreshadowing and see how much you're paying attention to what we are doing in various media. I know that some of you are. I didn't see this on Reddit though, so I'm a little disappointed, I have to say, Reddit bunch. Guys, you need to really pay more attention because we are doing a lot of stuff that you are missing.
So, it's not enough to just follow the game. You have to follow everything, comic books,
Yeah,
TV
absolutely.
shows, toys, anything.
Yeah, and if you actually want to read that comic book, you'll have the link in the description on YouTube, so you can go and check it out.
It's a bit of a problem.
And,
Those
there is a
content
comment
updates
on
are good, maybe
Twitch,
for new customers.
Explanation mark, dark
Yeah, I
horse,
could see
so you
that.
can
Yeah,
see
for
it
sure.
yourself. But coming back to the cars.
Sure. As you
You have a point there. This update is probably going to bring a few new customers. I think that's also why they partly do this. Not necessarily only for the old players, because this is very because this stuff right here, this is very surface level in terms of content. So I think, yeah, maybe people who haven't tried Cyberpunk yet, they're going to be like maybe more interested because like, oh, they have added more content to a supposedly already big game. I should probably try it out now. Like I could see that being the mindset of this update. And I think that's generally the mindset for most of these updates. You have a point there, true.
may have seen seconds
Yeah, it
before,
brings in new people.
you also have a big ass truck called the Chevillon Legatus Aquila,
Correct.
which is an armored truck, so first of its kind. And you right now have the new motorcycles, which is the Yaiba Muramasa, which is the first customizable motorcycles also.
Yep.
And the fourth vehicle is the Caliburn Mordred, Rayfield Caliburn Mordred.
Correct.
So
Yes.
it's also the first vehicle, the first sports car to be armored. So it's quite
And
wild to
weaponized.
play.
Correct. So like with each vehicle in this update, we have tried to do something a little different and a little new. So as we said, Yaiba Semimaru is the first car from Yaiba. And you can see their design in the way how the car is actually crafted. We are really proud of that design. Our vehicle art team did an amazing job, and our concept artists working on this one. So that's one, but all of the vehicles actually that Adrian talked about, they introduce something new. And Aquila, for instance, that big ass truck is the one that is covered like with graffitis and so on, because we were looking for this, I would say, punk sort of vibe and energy, in that truck. In the same time, it's also weaponized, right? It's the first weaponized truck that we added. It feels pretty.
I think 2077 is now a good test field for ideas for the sequel. New engine is an issue, but they likely write a lot of generic code that they can just move over. It's very true, but on the other hand, I think, because they're using Unreal Engine 5, like they're probably, because like at the start, Unreal Engine 5 kind of had a lot of smaller issues and it started piling up, and a lot of, games have come out that kind of, looks the same, uses the same assets. A lot of Unreal games, or not a lot, but a few Unreal games have had that issue where the performance is just not that good and stuff like that. But I think CDPR is one of those that are probably going to pull it off at this point. I hope at least, because for once they have probably learned from their experience with launching Cyberpunk 2077. Hopefully, you never know. But And also, like, the Unreal Engine has been updated a lot more. So I would imagine that most games that are getting worked on now are probably going to be way more stable down the line when they actually release, compared to the games that came out just a year ago up until now that have been made in Unreal, because those were very much like test games, I would say, made in Unreal Engine 5. So and they're constantly updating the engine as well. So I think, yeah, this I don't think there's going to be much issue with it, like, coding the game in Unreal Engine 5, generally speaking. And yeah, as you said, like, they're probably just going to use a lot of the generic code.
Pretty badass to just like go through, enemies, police with this gigantic truck. So I hope you'll try it out.
And Caliburn is Yorinobu's car, right?
Yes, and there's a little of a story connected with that, and maybe now we can mention the quests.
Yes, because it's not you cannot just buy them. You have to
actually
make some effort.
Yes, do something.
These new vehicles are introduced through new quests, with the small exception,
That's
which
cool.
is for the truck, which is
Correct.
directly available through the Autofixer, Muammar's platform, to selling bikes and motorcycles and cars. The others have small quests that you have to play with to unlock these new vehicles. So for the Sumimaru, you'll have to finish the side quests of River and Claire's side quests. For the Muramasa, you'll have to buy at least one Yaiba product into the Autofixer, and have at least 3 vehicles into both through the Autofixer too.
And all those triggering conditions.
Yeah, we have to play
you don't have
Cyberpunk
to,
in
like,
class
take
on
notes
Mac.
right now, even though that would be fun. But you can check them in patch notes.
You
probably shouldn't.
Whatever what Adrian said right now, you have it written down there. You can take a look, so don't worry. We also made sure that it's pretty intuitive to trigger them, hopefully, so you shouldn't have too much issues to actually get to the quests that will lead you to unlocking those new vehicles and have fun with
I
it.
like that there's new
So,
quests
a
at
question
least.
from the chat. Tomahawk is asking, do these new vehicle quests count towards 100% completion?
No, they don't. Actually, like all the new sort of content that we've been adding post-release, because as I understand, by 100% you're referring to achievements. That's at least that's how I understand your question. So if you mean that, no, we are not changing the achievements post-release. That can be incredibly confusing for the players and for all the guides that are out there online. We don't want to get
True,
you
he
guys
has a
be
point,
confused
yeah.
and feel that you missed something and you cannot trigger the achievement. That's the intentional thing on our side, that it is an additional content, after all, added post-release, so it doesn't count to the achievement. That being said, if you want to be a real player, you have to play it. I mean, otherwise you cannot say you did 100%.
Okay, well, actually, the new cars also, because they are unique, right? In a way, you can get them, in a way they look like, again, the first car by Yaiba. Will they support Twin Tone and Crystal Code, or are they excluded?
The Sumimaru, the Muramasa, and the Modred are supporting customization. Only the truck does not support it.
Exactly, and that's by design, that's connected to its lore, and if you go into the game and read a little of the note that we left on the AutoFixer page of the history of the vehicle, you understand why. Again, as I mentioned, we always try to make sure that each vehicle has a history, there is a reason why it is in the game, and it provides you with a different variety of how you play, and so on.
Awesome.
So, next new thing that we are adding into this update is something called Auto Drive. What is it, guys?
Auto drive, okay.
The
Let's see.
Autodrive is a new functionality you've got on all your vehicles, motorcycles and cars included. And that lets you basically drive around without touching the wheel. You can choose any point on the map you want. It also drives you automatically to your destination of quest or with a secondary point. And yeah, it goes into the traffic and it follows its way.
I like how
Takes you
how V
where you
relaxes her
ask it to
arm.
go.
Exactly. And,
Instead of,
you
you
just
know,
saw it
spinning
on
the
this
wheel.
footage a moment ago. V goes in that pose that in Polish we call zimny łokieć,
Yeah.
which means
Elbow.
cold elbow for non-Polish speakers in the chat. So
Yeah,
V
this
just
is gonna
goes into
this is
relaxed
gonna be
pose,
so
sometimes
chill.
even
Yeah,
Johnny's
yeah.
phones,
I can see myself
to
using this.
accompany you. You can drive around like this, of course, with the motorcycles. You keep your hands on a wheel because it would be too dangerous to drive. I would say.
No hands.
Just how I drive my Tesla. I still drive a manual, man. It's just it's a good old diesel. But yeah, I mean, this is gonna be pretty chill. Like I can see it, like elitists being already like, oh, how dare they? They're just making this more casual than it needs to be. To be a real Cyberpunk player, you need to drive manually. But the thing is, this is cool. Just for cruising around, just to like take a look at Night City and just chill and listen to music. I actually like this, especially so because I'm a terrible driver in Cyberpunk. In real life, I'm actually a very good driver, but in Cyberpunk, I'm shit. I keep driving into everything, and I just drive over people. I'm just the worst driver inside Night City.
Safety first.
Exactly. And,
Shit, Musk
I
made
really
it to
love driving like
2077.
this. It's just much more relaxing way, but there's more to it. So
Have you guys seen the whole Grok thing? Holy shit. AI girlfriends are coming. It's already here. It's already here with the new Grok thing. It wouldn't surprise me they're gonna like introduce something like that into the next Cyberpunk game where people are gonna be like gooning out of their minds. Because Cyberpunk is that kind of universe, where people are just straight up gooning all the time with all the mods and yada yada yada. The world itself is so sexually driven, so it's like there's gonna be so much goonery in the next game. And hey, CDPR, you gotta make sure that is the case, because that is one reason why Cyberpunk is so huge. Like, it doesn't hold back on the grit, on the adult theme. So don't you dare pull back. It's gotta happen now, man. It's gotta happen. Grok, is this true? God damn it. Every time I read some fucking thread on Twitter, there's always somebody it's like, Grok, is this true? It could be like the oldest factual statement or the oldest history thing ever that somebody just, oh, hey, did you know that this happened in 1945? Grok, is this true? It's like, holy shit, how is this not common knowledge? Come on, guys. The fuck?
we'll speak about it more. You can see, of course, on the left side you have the UI that is basically showing this new feature. So think about it like in our world, you would get like your CarPlay or AutoPlay or whatever car you're driving would get an update. You would download a software update, and that software update makes some of the software changes in your car. That's what happened in 2077. New feature was just shipped to all the vehicles. They all downloaded it, tried to use it. Important thing, I think, Adrian, what we should point out here is the fact that
Heinz ad? Damn.
Right? Like,
yeah, you have to. If you try to activate it in
Ketchup?
a barren wasteland, it won't work. You have got to be on the road at least. And the auto-drive support 2 modes. So the first standard one, which takes you to the point you set into the map. And the second one, which is a wandering mode, which means that the vehicle will drive endlessly, just for your own pleasure of cruising.
So you just explore.
You can cruise through Night City and take a look.
You just drive, you listen to your favorite radio station. And just chill.
We actually saw also something super cool on the footage that was just shown. It was the cinematic camera. So you can basically record a music video with the cinematic camera, right?
Yeah, it's an option you can activate while you are driving, and it cycles through different camera angles, so you can see your car, the city, and
didn't Grok go a bit crazy the other day? Yeah, it did.
Made there before.
A little bit.
That was actually inspired by a lot of videos that you guys made of Cyberpunk 2077 on YouTube, like videos like 4 hours driving in a city, and things like this. So we thought about like, okay, like people love being in that world and really being immersed in it. So we were, talking with Adrian and thinking like, okay, how we can actually give it to the players in a very like diegetic way, very real way, immersive way. And this is from where the idea of a cinematic camera came from. And what I love doing is like put on like, let's say jazz music, put on the free roaming mode, as Adrian mentioned. And that happens, by the way, if you have no quest point located on your map. If nothing is located and you just press a button to go into auto drive, it will automatically assume that we want to free roam, right? Otherwise, you will just go to whatever point you're pointing it at. And I just love this moment when I can drive through the city. There's like cool weather, cinematic camera showing me various, camera shots and so on. Weather is changing, jazz is playing, and I can play that. And now, guys, instead of watching YouTube, with all those recordings, you can just put the game, on a second screen and have it run infinitely, drive around the city forever if you want to.
And even,
It's kind of a waste of resources, to be completely frank. Because, I mean, running Cyberpunk, especially like on max settings, if you have a really good PC, like you're gonna use a lot of electricity to just run the game, just to drive around that Night City. Like most people don't really necessarily care. Like most gamers don't care about that. But at any point, like I would probably not do that because I still want to play the game. But it's still a cool thing, being able to cruise around without having to drive all the time. Pretty cool.
everyone now can freely record their Vs.
Yes.
Traveling around. So, influencer job is up there for grabs,
Yeah, sure.
Everyone can do
Sure.
that.
Exactly.
Now,
Exactly.
I actually have an important
I don't think
question
people are
because
gonna watch
we talked
that,
about
though.
the cinematic camera that, we can make videos, really cool videos now. What about photo mode in that mode? So can I use photo mode during free roam and take a cool picture?
Of course, it works perfectly.
Let's be frank here. Photo mode is just for the gooners.
You can take your own pic of
It is what it is.
driving into the vehicle and with his elbow on the door, and it works. Yeah.
That's very Polish. Okay, but okay. So if V doesn't feel like driving their
Yeah,
own
it's gonna be
car
very
or their
expensive to
own
have it running all the
motorcycle,
time.
there's always the Delamain, right?
Yeah, if auto drive even for you it's too much work, you've got the Delamain. So unlocked after you finish the Delamain side quest. You'll receive a text message from Delamain providing you with this new service.
Okay, cool.
And yeah, you can call him anytime to make a cab appear. You open and you select your destination, and you're being driven there for a small fee, and that's it.
I really appreciate that we will get more of Delamain in the game.
Exactly. So in patch 2.1, we have introduced the subway. In patch 2.3, we have introduced the taxi. So as you can see, all the updates that we are doing, we were doing right now are focused on things that make the world feel more alive, more immersive, more real, really. And we felt that actually like this missing component to really fulfill the Delamain fantasy is really the fact that he can just drive you around. Adrian also implemented the fact that you have Johnny sometimes show up next to you so you can chill together like buddies and drive around with the Delamain. So this feature is of course fully supporting everything else that we talked about before here, so you can listen to the music in Delamain as we spoke about.
Yep.
You can also use the cinematic camera.
Oh no, not that
as well
ad.
during that. So we, as you can see, like when we are introducing new things, we make sure that they all really work well in that ecosystem of the features, and they all like feel as intuitive as possible for you as a player. So whatever you would imagine be there, it actually works in a believable fashion. And again, Delamain also needs a road, right? The same as Autodrive, right? So have that in mind, just to be on, because we need you to be on navigation data. Speaking like a game developer, we need you to be on navigation data so we can send that car for you.
Awesome. Is there any time that Delamain or
Oh, you can tell
Autodrive
Johnny to
will
screw
not be
off? Oh, that's
available
cool.
to use apart from not being on
That's
the road?
funny.
No, it's pretty much Autodrive is available from the get-go. at
Can't
any
wait for
point.
Autodrive trash
Delamain,
compilations.
yeah, you've got to finish the side quest,
okay.
and that's it.
Exactly, and that is also in patch notes, in case anyone forgets, how to unlock it, it's there.
Yeah, we have all the details for you. They will be available after the stream. It seems on one hand like the future, like 2077, but on the other hand, we already are starting to develop this technology. So it's amazing to see what could be.
Okay, so we talked about new cars, we talked about Autodrive and taxis. So we have the vehicle part behind us, and now let's go back to my favorite feature, the photo mode, because we're adding so much cool shit in the photo mode, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we implemented a lot of new stuff and expanded
Nice
also
chairs.
existing features.
Actually,
So-
I was about to say that earlier. They look like really cozy chairs. I really want one. A little bit too big for this room, honestly. I don't think I would fit it in here. But it seems my size. My kind of size. No, I just like large chairs, Feels like you're being held.
So, for example, you've got right now a new tab to.
Alright, Slam,
pause
take care, man.
time,
Much
to
love.
implement change of time and weather. You can
Be
change
careful
the,
at work.
the time
Don't
of the day,
overwork
and
yourself.
You can change the weather around the scene during the photo mode to take even better picture and control a bit better the environment. You also have a feature to frame skip to get that perfect action shot during your scene. And of course, we
God, I
implemented
hate
new
what
NPCs.
happened to Aurora.
A lot more new NPCs. 27.
That was such a missed opportunity not to let you romance her. That is one of the biggest betrayals I feel with Cyberpunk. Is like, just how dare you? Like, Phantom Liberty was a fucking awesome expansion, but fucking Aurora, man, Jesus Christ.
I think.
I believe.
And among them, like you can see, the Castle Twins.
With those big chairs, I
we've
could
got
hug my
Brendan,
Lucy
we've got
waifu pillow.
Dexter,
Yeah, I love Brendan, guys. By the way, I cannot
Wait,
wait.
Lucy, not Becca? How dare you?
You make some
The twist makes it
photo
better,
mode
though?
pictures
Yeah,
with
kind
Brendan in there. I thought that it was missing. Also, like some of other player favorites,
Pretty
like
harsh.
Rita Wheeler, and of course Aurora and so on. So we'll see what you guys come up with.
And that's not all. For almost all of this NPCs, you've got alternate outfits.
More romance options would have been nice. I mean, I get it, but yeah, absolutely. I think they really need to do. I'm not saying that the romances in Cyberpunk are bad. I think a lot of them are cool, Judy and Pan Am especially. But yeah, man, like they gotta increase the amount of romances. They gotta make it more like alive. Like it feels like you're actually hanging out with them. Like introduce stuff like, you know, hanging out with them at bars, maybe go on dates and stuff like. Maybe I'm just pushing them too much to do things, but. I kind of want to, because Cyberpunk is such a world where you feel like you're in the dark future. And so I think investing a lot of time into new characters that you're attracted to, that you like, and that you want to romance, and that you can romance, is just the way to go, because that is a lot of the depth where Cyberpunk lies, right? I think you deserve a chair like that. You need a bigger house. Yeah, this is just an apartment, and I'm in a walk-in closet. I literally refurbished this walk-in closet into my office, and it was not a good idea because the pipes that go through the roof here, they carry warm water, so I'm essentially always warm in here. That's always why I'm sweating so much, right? It's like, it's the most stupid place to record videos, but where can I go in this tiny-ass apartment? That's just how it is, right? Yeah, give me more options. Very true. Yeah.
New outfits for Johnny, for Judy, for all the main characters mostly, and
Yes, so if you saw like a character in the quest during our game having like a cool fit and you would
You're
like
a
to have
wizard?
picture
Wait,
here,
why?
now we have
How
access
come?
to it. In most cases, because there might be a minor exceptions, but in most cases we have access to all the appearances that we have used.
Yeah, I think what's the coolest thing that we're doing with the photo mode is like we listen to the feedback of our virtual photography community. We try to implement what they are asking for. So this is really cool. I think now the photo mode is complete. I'm pretty sure it's not. We can still probably, you know, squeeze.
Houses are better in Europe.
Yeah.
Everything is better in
So
Europe.
if there's still anything that you would like to see in photo mode,
I
let
live
us
in
know.
Europe. I live in
So,
Sweden.
you know, maybe
It's
we
just
can convince this
I live in
show
an
to actually
expensive
maybe make
area,
another patch
unfortunately.
for
It's the most
photo mode.
feature-heavy photo mode ever made in video games.
Your PC is
there's
also
like,
cooking?
a
Yeah.
couple other things that we didn't mention, like we made like numerous stickers, numerous frames. Actually, they have like different vibes. You can have your life puffs there included, like cutouts of favorite characters. We can make like things feeling like and looking like a postcard from Night City. It will feel like it. So with our artists from Virtuos, we have tried to like tune in
Hey, D,
and
how you
find
doing?
like different sensibilities that you may have and different vibes of things that you want to create. You know, there's a little things that feel like comic books. Like one of the coolest things that I like, we added some of those, I would say, famous quotes from 2077 that you can add them now. So like you look like a cut of fuckable meat and things like this, definitely there. So it was definitely important. So there's bunch of those there. So if you're like creating pictures like this, you can add them and create interesting context. And there's of course all of those emotional quotes as well. You will find it all.
I'm curious what our community is gonna come up with, but that's not all, right? We saw at the footage
In Night City, you come.
that we had the improved light system. We did some changes to that, right?
Yeah, we improved a lot the ergonomic to control the different lights you can use that we implemented into 2.2. So it's much easier to brighten up your scenes. So yeah, we improved that. And we also right now have new natural poses for V, for all the new NPCs. And the new IK system tied to the look at option.
Oh yeah.
That is actually really powerful.
Is this new music? I don't think I've heard this one before. Could that be the new soundtrack?
Anyway, yeah, I really love that.
You can create a lot of stuff with that, and that's insane.
Yeah, so the way it works is like you pick a pose, and then you can basically choose a look at, and look at is like, let's say, like directionally where do you want to position your character, but in the same time, it keeps the pose that you've chosen. Therefore, it creates a lot more variety that you can create with those tools. So we just want to make sure that you can create shots.
I guess that makes it look more natural.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then also I saw a cool tab with all the color thingies where you could change color balance and create basically your own filters, right?
Yeah, with color balance, I think we've got 3 new hue bars, so you can control in much more depth than before the tonalities, the colors of your scenes, the saturation.
Nice vanilla.
So for all of the aficionado of photography, it's gonna be very useful to do it right into the tool and not in Photoshop afterward.
Exactly.
Awesome, wow. What will we do with this photo mode?
I mean, we like to do contests now and again, and we might have something planned for you. So, again,
we might.
keep your eyes open. There will be cool swag to get, and yeah, we
Swag?
can't wait to see what you guys come up
Who uses swag anymore?
with.
Yeah.
But okay.
So now we have some more of the technical stuff that Technologia, yes. So there was one thing that a lot of people were commenting about and were requesting. FSR 3.1 frame generation is coming.
Swag
in
is so
this
2011,
update.
yeah.
Yes, exactly. And there's
dare
we
she.
actually collaborated with our partners from AMD. That was like quite important for me to set it up, and they were like a wonderful partner. We worked together on FSR 3.1 frame generation and on actually FSR 4, my dears. So Cyberpunk 2077 from this point on will support FSR 4. However, there's an important note here to say that this will come in a later date together with the AMD's driver update, right? So please be aware of this. And of course, FSR 4 works for Radeon 9000 generation cards. Have that please in mind. Like you have to have a proper hardware to use it. But
who cares what
so
words
FSR
are cool or
3.1
not?
tomorrow together with the patch, and 4 once the AMD drivers come out. But that's not everything. We have Intel
swag.
2.0 and frame generation as well. I think we've done some stuff with frame generation in options in general, or some new settings.
So yes, so this is just yet another one. So we want to support as many new technologies as we can, just to really treat Cyberpunk as a showcase for all kinds of technologies that are there and that you're looking forward to. So we actually collaborated with Intel to implement Access 2.0.
I like that he says that Cyberpunk essentially is just a testing ground for a lot of technology and a lot of graphical stuff, because like everybody keeps using Cyberpunk as like the number one thing that you compare various graphics cards with, and performance and FPS, and it's kind of cool in that way where they've pushed the game to the limits, to where like graphical fidelity is so much better than like pretty much everything that is out there still. it just, it's the game came out, what is it, 5 years ago now? And it's like, it still looks better than most games coming out today. It's pretty insane. I just
2.0 and Access 2.0 frame generation, and it's coming in update
it's cool.
2.3 to Cyberpunk. And yeah, I hope you're going to experiment with it, see what are the results, what looks better for you, because like again, it's at this point Cyberpunk supports so many different options that I hope you are going to have a lot of fun choosing and checking what works well with what what gives you a better picture quality and what fits best your needs as a player.
Yep.
But it's still not everything. I still have HDR 10 plus gaming on my list.
Exactly. So that's yet another thing. HDR 10 plus gaming. This is something that was semi-supported before, and now we have done it properly, so you can, when you have a proper monitor, and of course, like I encourage you to really check how to properly set it up. You have to enable it, you have to have a proper display to be able to see it, but yes, it actually also works in Cyberpunk now.
Cool. So those were the things for PC players, but
Cool
we
advice.
don't forget the console players, of course. We have VRR on consoles as well.
Correct, yes. So right now, Cyberpunk will support properly the VRR. Before, we had a version on Xbox of that, but we revisited the topic, made sure that it's done properly on consoles.
Awesome, thank you so much. If you understand any of that, good for you. You can just play with the options on your PC and find the best options for you. Those are really cool things to enhance your gaming experience. And one more thing that we need to talk about that we actually announced yesterday, announced the date yesterday, is that Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition is coming to Max.
Yes.
So it's, I like to call it cherry on top for this
to,
game.
to Mac. All right.
We actually have some gameplay prepared for you to showcase how it works, how it looks on Macs. And yet, don't forget, the game will be available through Mac App Store, GOG, Steam, and Epic Games.
Oh, so this is run on
shop.
Mac. Okay, cool.
If you already have the game on any of these platforms, you don't have to buy it again. You can just get it for free and download it on your Mac. So don't worry.
Oh.
And yeah, the game supports features like ray tracing, frame generation, HDR, tuned for Apple.
So if you own Cyberpunk, you can just download it on Mac for free. That is actually cool.
XDR displays. And there's many more.
Yes, I mean, there's a couple more things, of course. So, as if you are like a user of the Mac, what you expect? You expect probably a support for Magic Mouse. That's of course done. We also support full cross progression. So, if you've been playing on any console or any PC or really anything on Switch,
40 FPS with lots of blur.
That save and actually continue on Mac now, which is great. I actually played this game.
It's not the preferable system I would play it on, but it's cool for people who have Macs.
Across a couple different platforms now, so it's really fun. It also supports spatial audio, so if you have like your earpods, it will properly detect your ears, which is also really cool. And we collaborated with Apple together.
Vanilla, that's not impressive. Lol. Yeah, I would hope my Steam account could play the same game I already own. True, but since they're uploading it to the App Store in that would be the, what is it called again? The Apple Store? Is it iTunes at this point? I don't remember. But it's still, cool that they don't separate, because there are other developers that do that. They have you buying the game on an app store nevertheless. So it's like, yeah, okay, it's cool that they actually don't do that thing, that scummy, publisher thing that a lot of people, or well, not a lot of people do, but publishers, I guess, tended to do back in the day, or studios tended to do back in the day.
This version of the game,
App Store,
just make sure that it actually squeezes out the best performance we can give you and the best visuals.
I don't know anything about Mac. Can you use Steam on Mac? That's how clueless I am on Mac. I don't know.
Yeah. So guys, we know a lot of you have been asking about the Mac version. It's gonna be here finally tomorrow. Keep in mind, it's for Apple Silicon Macs, so the one with the Apple chipset, and it's 60 gigabytes plus. So
Yeah.
at least 60 gigabytes.
Oh, you're not getting the App Store version.
All the
okay.
system requirements are also posted on our socials.
Okay, you can use
the
it on Mac.
support
Okay,
page,
cool.
So make sure to check it out.
Probably never will.
Just to make sure that your Mac can run Cyberpunk.
The last time I used a Mac, it was like was the Mac 2011 version. It was a laptop we got to borrow from school. That is the only time I've ever used a Mac. It was pretty good, but like it was slow and irritating to use. And yeah, I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big
Punk 2017.
PC here, man.
So I think we
PC
went
Master
through
Race.
all of the biggest changes, the biggest additions.
You played Disco
let's sum
Elysium
up
on
it
Mac.
very
Oh,
quickly.
okay.
So we have enhanced Crystal Code and Twin Tone. It's almost all of the cars right now, the ones that make sense, of course. We have 4 new cars and some additional quests to get them. On top of that, we have Auto Drive.
Yes. I think that's going to be my favorite way to travel. We have auto drive. We have taxi system for you.
With the cinematic camera?
With the cinematic camera, with the photo mode option.
Auto
so
drive
you
is
can
the most
make video
interesting
shots
thing here.
Whenever you're driving and you feel like, you know, it's a good time to take a selfie. Don't do it in your real car, though. It's not safe. We have a lot of technical features coming as well. Like, you know, you heard FSR 3.1, FSR 4 later this year. So, you know, there's quite a lot of things happening. And of course, photo mode. And of course, photo mode contest.
Yes.
Do we have any questions?
Yes,
in the
I
chat?
was just wondering if people had some questions. And yeah, we have Sun Servant, for example, asking how does auto drive behave in traffic? Like, are we endlessly waiting at red light? Does it follow like traffic rules?
It follows traffic rules. It stops at red lights, like a good citizen.
In Night City, good citizens.
Exactly.
Unlike all the Vs that are driving around.
Yes. That being said, like we put like some work into make sure there's not a frustrating experience, right? So because like as I understand the subtext in your question is it gonna be fucking frustrating to wait? Well, hopefully it won't. You know, we paid attention to this and made sure that it actually goes smoothly, but it follows the traffic lights because otherwise you would be constantly crashing your car into other cars if it wouldn't. So that's kind of what happens when you drive not paying attention, you know. So it naturally has to follow the traffic lights. That being said, we try to make it that it's not annoying, that it feels fluid, that it feels smooth. But at the times when you'll see it stop and so on, in most cases, it is actually because of the lights.
Okay, so on top of that, another question about auto drive. Digirov is asking, when you set up automatic driving, aren't you at risk of being attacked?
Yeah, definitely you can. And if you are in combat, the auto drive feature disengage, so you can undo this before continuing to cruising. So yeah, it just stops the auto drive.
Kind of makes sense,
if you're
though.
being attacked.
Okay, so you can take charge of your car.
Correct. And with Adrian, we did a little magic behind the scenes to make sure that if you're in a free roaming mode and you're listening to your jazz or whatever, and you're like enjoying the rain in Night City, that they won't bust your ass nonstop. Okay, so it's let's say the combat can happen.
Oh,
because,
seems like
again,
they've
it's a hostile
reprogrammed the
environment,
NPCs
dystopian
a
world and
little.
so on. But we know like that you guys sometimes just want to have good time in Night City driving, so we didn't want to make it annoying. So we have fine-tuned it a little. Again, if you drive into the combat, well, no wonder it will start combat, like it will disengage, you'll have to fight. But outside of that, most of the time, you'll actually be safe just driving around so that you can really enjoy it. Because that's what that feature really is for, to stay in that world, to soak it in.
So you can just chill in Night City.
Chill in Night City,
Ah,
yes.
that's amazing. I think this is it. Like, if you have any more questions about the patch, you can always check out the patch notes that will be published on our website right after this stream. And also just check out the patch tomorrow.
Yeah, the patch is actually dropping tomorrow. So also stay tuned for the official announcement that, hey, it's already live. We'll let you know. And yeah, so remember, the patch comes live tomorrow on PCs, Xbox Series S and X, PlayStation 5, Mac as well, and Switch 2 will
Follow
follow.
soon after.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
So, is there anything that you would like to say to our community at the end of this stream?
Well, I'm super happy to be here with you. It's a privilege, and yeah, I hope you will enjoy this content, all this content for this patch, and yeah, go rogue.
Thank you so much, Pavel. How about you?
My Chums, I mean, I love how excited you were about 2.3, like this all speculation and so on. It was great. I watched every video you guys made. I love your imagination. It's awesome. You know, it's honestly an insane pleasure. It's and a privilege, as Adrian said, to have a community that fucking gives a shit. You know, it's really, really, really valuable for us because we do it for you, right? That is what we do it for. Like me and Adrian, we can cook a patch. If no one will care, then, you know, it's just disheartening. So it's super awesome that I see your excitement. You know, maybe when you don't get everything right, you know, with your predictions, that's okay. You know, you'll learn. You'll get into it. You'll get better. You know, a lot of you is actually quite on point. Anyway, enjoy it, my dears. Much love. It was really, really an amazing time to work on this, and I hope you have fantastic time with this patch.
Yeah, guys, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching us. And thank you for playing the game. It's always amazing, and it's really difficult to imagine that it's almost been 5 years that we've been doing it.
I got a
Like,
kitty
I mean,
at
we've
my
been doing
door.
it even longer, but with you playing.
We'll get to the 5th anniversary.
Yeah, I know.
When the time is right. So yeah, once again, thank you, Paolo, thank you, Adrian, for joining us today. Thank you, everyone on the other side of the screen, for joining us as well, for sending the questions, your comments. If you have any questions left, like Alicia mentioned, let us know on social media, on our forums, Discord, wherever you can find us. And let us know how you enjoyed the patch tomorrow. And on that note, me and Alicia will see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you guys. As always,
guys.
it was a pleasure.
Huh.
Free wheels.
Okay, so this is the little teaser then, okay?
Good morning, V. Thank you for choosing the Delamain service.
Cool, but nothing really to bring me back. Yeah, true. I was kind of expecting something maybe more of substance, but I mean, again, yeah, this was the teaser that played before, so we already saw that. Yeah, you know, on the whole, I would say I'm appreciative of them making new content for the game, adding some more stuff. But you know, at this point, I think again, like, it's cool. I'm happy for everybody who's like has something to jump into. But again, like, I'm one of those people that, yeah, for sure, I agree with Vadim here. I would probably not jump into this right away. Like, the thing is, I hop into Cyberpunk after like major changes and additions, and this doesn't feel like a massive one. Like, yeah, the self-driving auto driving is pretty cool, but it's like, you know, it's just a nice extra feature in case you haven't played the game. So this is cool for any new people, I would say, for sure. Or, you know, if you really do appreciate this, then all the more power to you. But for now, I just want to, honestly, I just want to play the next Cyberpunk, you know, just itching to getting to the next Cyberpunk game. So, yeah, this felt it's cool. Again, like, I appreciate them doing this. It's cool that they keep adding content to it, and especially because they use other studios to work for them to make some of this stuff. Like, what are they called again? It's the same studio that helped Bethesda, right? To make the Elder Scrolls remaster, Virtuos, right? That's cool. Yeah, I'll probably wait until they drop another update and see what that is all about. Like, if they actually introduce like flying vehicles, I would probably be more interested in jumping into it again. Or something similar to that scale. But again, it's like, yeah, at this point, it's, you know, it's more like the only reasons I jump into Cyberpunk nowadays, it's like, okay, there's really cool mods, or if if there's been some time since I last played it and I've like forgotten certain parts, and sometimes you just feel like jumping into the combat, like maybe some new combat stuff would be cool, but yeah, I don't know. It's not super exciting. Like it's always like, oh, you know, the speculation is cool and everybody's like, oh my god, a new Cyberpunk patch, and everybody's making a big deal out of it, and you think, oh, maybe this is going to be a big one, but it's like, okay, it's fine, you know, it's cool, but because I don't want to be like unappreciative of the fact that they're actually doing something. I do appreciate that, but it's like, yeah, this was a little disappointing, but hey, you know, it is what it is. If you watch the investor reports, they talk about hitting a revenue target, but with little new game releases. So it looks like they're trying to draw in new players rather than bring back old ones. Yeah, again, like this is probably, you guys probably are probably like right about that. I think that's true. It's not so much really for the older players. I feel this feels like more of a thing for newer folks, because this just adds on top of all the other content that is in Cyberpunk, and it just gives people more alternatives to play around with and see the full picture of what Cyberpunk has become. Might be a good thing for us content creators to make a video about. I mean, you know, is it worth playing Cyberpunk in 2025? I've made a couple of those videos at this point, but you know, it brings in views. It brings in new people that haven't played the game yet, that are actually looking that up. Like, is it worth playing today? And yeah, maybe, you know, I don't know if I'm gonna make a video about that like after this one, because that's just it's kind of a minor one. So hey, flying vehicles is not just about adding them, but a whole lot of related systems and stuff. No wonder they didn't do it. It doesn't make sense. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't. It's, you know, good point there, though, because I tried installing the... you guys remember that mod? There is a flying vehicle mod. And I tried installing it, and I thought that I was good at installing mods, but I couldn't get that shit to work at all. Like, I don't know why, but there was some snag I ran into, but I just couldn't get it to work. And everybody was like, oh, there's flying vehicles now. You can fly in your car. And I was like, oh, cool, but how do I fucking install it correctly? And I just couldn't get it to work for some reason, so I just gave up. And so, yeah, maybe there is a lot more going into, like, you know, flying vehicles than just, you know, adding them. Let There Be Flight was awesome. Maybe it was. I couldn't get it to work. Oh, it only worked on like 1 to 2 patches. Oh, okay. So it broke afterward? Those news articles all saying Cyberpunk new update is the size of a whole new game upsets me, because I know that there's people out there that believe it and then are disappointed and get upset at devs. Yeah, so I would say that the only time that was true was with Phantom Liberty, I would say, where it's like somewhat true, because they added a bunch of new systems, they added a bunch of new stuff. The story was great. It's an entirely new map. You can literally end the game early because there's a different storyline you can take, unless you decide to continue with the main storyline as well. But it's like, I feel like that is the one point in Cyberpunk's history where it's like, oh, this is a completely different game, sort of, not entirely, but it's like a whole new thing. But that was also like a complete expansion, and they marketed it as such. But everything after that, and even before that, it was kind of, it's cool, but it's not entirely new. 2.3 delays. Delay shows just how big it really is. Yeah, I don't know. They just need to stabilize it to make sure it doesn't break a bunch of stuff, maybe. Maybe these patches and updates are tapping into the GTA anticipation. That's a good point, Fletcher. Yeah, that could be it, actually, because this was very vehicle focused, and GTA obviously is very vehicle focused. So maybe they're gonna come out with an update like close to the release of GTA just to like cash in on the hype. That would make sense. New mega epic Cyberpunk update. You won't believe it. True. Yeah, but it works. I've actually tried something like that before. Not exactly that hype because that's overdoing it. But seriously, it does work on YouTube. But thankfully, YouTube is cracking down on that type of content, I think. Or maybe they're not. No, they're not actually doing that. They're cracking down on AI-generated content, right? When GTA 6 releases, everything else will be irrelevant. Definitely. Around that point, realistically speaking, yes. That same month, rip to any games releasing when GTA releases that month. Did we have an actual month for GTA 6? Because, I would not want to be a game releasing that month. That is gonna suck. I really want them to overhaul the street racing activities in 2077. I barely played around with the street racing, honestly. So that's more something that you would want, I think. I'm more of a combat, like new gameplay features, like maybe new. One thing that actually, now I've talked about this before, I'm very horny for combat finishers. New combat finishers would probably make me go like, yeah, now I feel like replaying the game because I can execute people in cooler style. I know that kind of sounds messed up, but again, like, I think people underestimate how important stuff like combat finishers are in games like this, like especially also like in The Witcher 3 and in other games that have the similar systems where it just provides a very satisfying grittiness to the combat. God of War, I absolutely fucking love because of the combat finishers you do both in the old games and the new games. They're just so visceral and brutal, and it feels so heavy and cool. Like, I just think it's so boring, and that is, I think generally speaking, that's why I'm not a big fan of Bethesda games outside of maybe like Skyrim, because Skyrim actually has like combat finishers. And I know like a lot of you are going to be like, oh, who cares? But the thing is, it's so goddamn boring hitting an enemy and they just ragdoll. It's just it's the lamest ass. Like, it doesn't feel impactful. It doesn't like, it doesn't bring you into the combat. It doesn't make the combat feel visceral. So I think that's really important. Honestly, I know some of you are probably rolling your eyes right now, but I think that's one thing I would probably be like, yeah, give us some more stuff like that, because I did appreciate really like the new finishers in Phantom Liberty, where you can you can finish somebody off with your monowire, you can like stab somebody like super quickly with your mantis arms, and you can like punch people into smithereens and like throw them across rooms. I think that is really cool. Like, those things were really, really cool. So yeah. New weapons and interactions. Yeah, stuff like that for sure. Just add things like that and I would be like, yeah, sure, I could try this out again now again. I'm a fan of Cyberpunk. I played it several times, many times actually, but there's only so many times you can play a game before you're like, oh, okay. I loved it when CDPR added the head exploding. You mean with the punch, the gorilla arms? Avowed got a tiny update yesterday. Oh shit, I need to check out Avowed. I haven't done that yet. Again, another game on my backlog that I really need to check out and try out for myself. But I don't know. I just never really liked the aesthetic of Avowed, so I just never tried it. It didn't look very interesting to me. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be it for today, guys. I just wanted to talk about some of these news in gaming. Also wanted to especially talk about that Subnautica situation again, because it's not that I'm trying to milk it, but I promised that I would report on it. So, I'm doing that as best as I can. Avowed is a strange case, yeah, but I got to get into it at some point because, I can't talk about the game unless I've played it. That would be pretty fake of me to do. But yeah, guys, I'm going to be off for today. Thank you for being here as always. And thank you for all the support as always. And I'll see you on the next stream. Take care, guys. MrHulthen signing off. Bye-bye. Take care.